Hi everyone and welcome back to Saturn Secrets. Today we're discussing the astrology of May 2021. Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're discussing the astrology of May 2021 and what it means for the individual zodiac signs. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel for regular astrology updates. So May 2021 is an interesting month because the modality is shifting quite intensely. We've had a very fixed dominated sky. We've had a lot of Taurus energy. We've had heavy Aquarian energy, and we have the aftermath of a full supermoon in Scorpio. May 2021 marks the change to a more mutable spread, with a lot of the planets moving into Gemini, Jupiter moving into Pisces, and a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. So the sun will remain in Taurus for most of the month, but as the month begins, we're going to be feeling the progression into Gemini season, with both Mercury and Venus moving into Gemini before the Taurus new moon on the 11th. Now, I will get into the Taurus new moon in a special video, but for now, what I want to say about it is it's quite idealistic and really quite dreamy. There's going to be a beautiful sextile between the new moon and Neptune, which is giving us this new beginning in terms of laying solid foundations for our dreams, our aspirations. And I think the Taurus-Pisces blend is really quite a beautiful one, because Taurus is such a solid energy and Pisces is so idealistic. And when they merge together, we have this beautiful blend that is harmonious between laying foundations for ourselves and also going after what it is that we are more idealistic about, or more hopeful about, more aspirational about. So this is a beautiful new moon that we're going to be experiencing on the 11th. Now, one of the key themes of Taurus season May 2021 in general is that we are asked to examine our relationships with our values, where we place the most value, and our self-confidence, our self-worth, and how we define our self-worth. If it's by something within us, if it's something to do with transcendence and unconditional love, Neptune, or if it's to do with the things we possess, which would be Taurus. Do we possess enough money, enough material objects? Are we attractive enough? That sort of thing can come up as an issue. And it may be an issue that you examine around the Scorpio supermoon at the end of April, and the energies coming from that. Maybe you're realizing that there has been some trickiness with that energy, especially as the Taurian energy is squaring off with the Aquarius energy, which is saying, are you enough in terms of society, in terms of your contributions? Do you make enough in terms of charitable endeavors? Do you pursue friendships? Do you have enough friendships? Do you have enough connections? So these type of questions can come up. But this new moon is a beautiful new start. It's a beautiful moment to manifest confidence. When we talk about new moons, we always talk about setting intentions and manifesting. And with this Taurus new moon, I think it's ironic that, considering this is the sign most associated with possessions, it's actually the most beautiful new moon to manifest something that can't be seen, because of its relationship with Neptune. Manifest self-love, self-confidence, because Neptune in Pisces rules that unconditional love. So you will find that the more of the unconditional love you possess, the easier it will be to manifest around this new moon. Now, a couple of days later, Jupiter is going to move into Pisces. Now, Jupiter is a big theme this month, because even around that new moon, Jupiter is going to be squaring Venus, I believe, which is ruling the new moon. And then we're going to have a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius towards the end of the month on the 26th. And Sagittarius is the sign associated with Jupiter, but it's going to be squaring the eclipse, and Jupiter is going to be in Pisces. So as you can see, Jupiter is making a lot of noise this month, and it's really asking you to establish what your relationship with Jupiter actually is. So when Jupiter is moving into Pisces, we're going to see a lot of themes, a lot of trends surrounding the more idealistic side of Pisces, spirituality, faith, compassion, empathy, these type of things. And the last time Jupiter was in Pisces, you can actually look back, it was around 2010. And during that year, one of the things that I noticed is that there was a lot of focus on humanitarian causes, but mostly in the bracket of compassion. When we feel a shift from Aquarius to Pisces, we see both the humanitarian element and the compassion of mankind. So Hope for Haiti was something that happened back when Jupiter was asked in Pisces, as well as the Deepwater Horizon oil disaster on the ocean. And we saw how much people were showing the compassion and the empathy for the creatures affected, the people affected, and the environmental impact. So this is something that could be witnessed during Jupiter and Pisces. And I'm not saying that it has to be a disaster brings it out. Jupiter and Pisces isn't associated with disasters, but I'm mentioning the compassionate side. You know what I mean? The fact that there is within most people a lot of good and a lot of caring, and it can be overridden sometimes by what we see online, what we see on the news. So with Jupiter now moving into Pisces, we think about Jupiter in terms of luck. I think that's everyone's keyword when Jupiter gets mentioned. It's what sign will get the most luck, what sign will receive the most blessings. But Jupiter has a lot more going on than just that. And I was thinking about this the other night. Jupiter is actually associated with trust. And since the end of 2019, Jupiter has been in Capricorn and Aquarius, both traditionally ruled by Saturn. Saturn, who was Cronus, chronological, Saturn rules time. And so we've had to put a lot of trust in timing. And so when Jupiter shifts into Pisces, which is that more idealistic, but that transcendence, that lack of boundaries, that lack of borders, that merging of souls type energy, that understanding, that psychic connection, there will be less emphasis on trusting timing. So in this particular period, especially with the eclipses, you may notice certain things in your life speed up or certain things fall into place. And that can sometimes feel quite chaotic with eclipses because we don't necessarily trust them. Human nature originally feared eclipses because it would have been an association with the world ending. You know, if the moon just suddenly disappears or the sun disappears, it would definitely make people quite anxious if they don't have that foundational understanding of science or even astrology. When eclipses come around, it can lead to very anxious feelings because there is a feeling of shift. And because it's squaring Jupiter, there is potentially around this time a crisis of faith, a crisis of trust. But those type of things happen so that we can address the issue we have with it to begin with. And so with this lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, it's going to be at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. So look to where that is in your chart, either in Placidus or whole sign. This is going to really expose some of your faithful tendencies, whether you believe in something bigger than you or not. And I was thinking about this the other day. There's kind of this, you know, a lot of people have funny relationships with astrology and spirituality and witchy practices, and you can see it in people very instantaneously when you mention something like crystals. So if you mention that you have an amethyst crystal because it's great for your third eye chakra, it's great for your intuition, working with spirit guides or anything that you associate amethyst with, or you say you have a rose quartz because it helps you feel self-love and that sort of thing. There are people who can really look at you like your two heads and think, but you have to understand that those people themselves can be the type who unknowingly have spiritual practice. You know, maybe they have lucky football boots. Maybe they don't like to, maybe they get very upset if they break a mirror. Maybe they salute magpies. Everybody has something. It's very rare that you don't get a person with some sort of belief system. Even if that belief system is psychology, even if that belief system is science, it is still a belief system. It would still come under that bracket of what we believe in. And around this eclipse, you might have some sort of shift. You might have some sort of change in opinion. One of the stories that came to mind very much with May for me is this Buddhist proverb about this man who's being chased by a tiger. And when he's being chased by the tiger, he wants to get away from it so desperately. He sees this well and he jumps into the well and he catches onto a branch, the root I believe of a tree that's coming into the well, and he realizes when he's jumped in that there is a black coiled snake at the bottom, and the snake is disturbed by him and it starts to look up and starts to bite at him. Meanwhile, there's a tiger at the top pawing at him, so he's not in a very ideal situation. And as if things couldn't get any worse, he then has two little mice, one white, one black, come out and start biting at the roots. So it's only a matter of time before this that he's holding on to will let go, and he will either be eaten by the snake, bitten by the snake if he gets to the bottom, or he has to face the tiger again as he gets to the top. So again, not very ideal. But the tiger is still going at him, and its back foot is pushing against a tree with a beehive at the top, and the beehive starts dripping honey. So the man can taste the honey, he can experience the honey and its sweetness. And for some people, this is where the story ends, because he's finding the beauty in the troubling circumstances. He's still enjoying something within the circumstances. He's shifting his awareness to what is going right in his life. But for others, the story ends with the tiger so ferociously swiping that he loses his footing, falls into the well, misses the man, crushes the snake, and dies in the process. So the man's actually free. Now, that part of the story makes me think of the fact that in life, circumstances can change like that. Luck is something that can find you, but it's important whenever circumstances aren't going so well for you to understand that misfortune is a fickle thing. This man, for one moment, seemed pretty doomed, and then circumstances took over and he wasn't. Now, the moral of the story, I believe, is the fact that true freedom, which is a Sagittarian concept, which is a Jupiter concept, true freedom is being able to find happiness despite the circumstances, to find peace, to choose your emotional settings despite your environment, despite what's going on in your life. And also the concept of having faith that things can work in your favor, things can change, is also something that comes up with this. Both are very Jupiter energies, and the fact that we have this eclipse in Sagittarius, which is to do with faith, it's to do with freedom, really asks us that when the eclipse happens and circumstances may seem unusual, or they may seem in a state of flux or change, to have that faith, but also to have that freedom inside to choose how you respond, to choose how you feel, is a very powerful thing. And because Jupiter's moving into Pisces, and so much of the theme going on until July is going to be having faith in what you can't see, it's a really interesting story to hold in your mind as you progress through May. Another thing to consider is the fact that Mercury enters Gemini and is going to go retrograde. Now this one I'm kind of laughing at because I think it's quite funny. Mercury, we know when it goes retrograde, it's so pop culture now. It's about delays, text messages from people from the past, sending the wrong email, that type of thing. In Gemini, the energy is quite heightened. Now, Mercury is obviously incredibly comfortable in Gemini, and that's a great thing. But it does mean that we have a moment to reevaluate how we communicate, how we discuss, how we listen, and also how we relate to facts. Some people prefer to see the bigger picture, and because we're going to be having an eclipse with Sagittarian energy, there could be a little bit of more of the polarity that we're already seeing in the world. You know, the political polarity, the way we deal with issues, the way we disagree, you know. There's going to be a lot of false information, I feel, when Mercury is retrograde in Gemini, false facts. I don't want to say fake news, but it's going to be a time when there could be a lot of miscommunications and a lot of information could come out that's not so accurate, and this could be down to clerical errors, a lack of fact checking, more than deceit per se. It's just to be, you know, it's just to use this moment to reevaluate how you respond and how you react, because if you decide that you're going to take a little bit of a pause before you react or gather yourself before you react, you could save yourself a lot of embarrassment if it ends up that you've got the wrong facts, you know. Because even if you get the wrong facts and you react to those, that can be very revealing in a way that you maybe don't want. So just bear that in mind with this energy. It's a wonderful time to actually reevaluate how comfortable you feel with communication and maybe challenge yourself a little bit in terms of putting your ideas across, in terms of making mistakes. Maybe you are not putting yourself out there, maybe you're not risking much in life because you're scared of looking silly or you're scared of making mistakes. This is actually a wonderful aspect to get comfortable with this, because everybody is going to be making mistakes, and you can feel a little bit more empowered by experiencing something that's uncomfortable and then deciding to move forward anyway. You know, sometimes feeling the fear and doing it anyway is the best medicine for us. And particularly with an eclipse in Sagittarius, because it's going to be in conflict with the Piscean energy, we can become very aware of how we are maybe afraid to take an adventure or take a different viewpoint because of something that is ingrained in our subconscious from the past. You know, there are some people who can feel very afraid of flying, you know, and it can stop them traveling. There can be people who are very afraid of going too far from home in case something happens. Those type of fears, those type of feelings can come up around this time to be addressed so that you can move forward. The beautiful thing about Jupiter in Pisces is that it's similar to if you were experiencing a Jupiter in the 12th house transit, which a lot of Pisces rising people are at the moment, and Aquarius rising people would have experienced last year. It's basically when your rising sign is, say your rising sign is Aries, and the sign before Aries then is Pisces, so that's your 12th house. So Aries rising will experience this over the summer, but the thing about Jupiter going through the 12th house is that it can really help you heal anything subconscious, because your subconscious becomes expanded. You see things. Jupiter likes to expand, and Jupiter likes to make you think. Jupiter likes to make you question. Sagittarian children, for example, who are ruled by Jupiter, are notorious for asking why. You know, it's a questionable planet, likes to ask questions, likes to dig. And so you may realize with Jupiter going through Pisces as a trend, more people are open to therapy, to healing, to working through and developing an awareness of their subconscious. And that's a big part of Jupiter being in Pisces, not to mention the fact that Mars will be in Cancer. And Mars in Cancer can be, because it's a water sign, we're putting our action into the 4th house energy, Cancer, which is to do with the past. So there's going to be a lot of understanding, I think, comes for people in terms of their feelings in May. In terms of further retrogrades this month, Saturn is going to be going retrograde at the end of the month in Aquarius, and Pluto is going to be retrograde for all of the month. So Saturn retrograde in Aquarius could indicate that there will be a little bit of a slowdown and ease in terms of social restrictions for many places. It can also be a time when we start to really look inward at what we need to do in terms of social causes, humanitarian causes, and where we are maybe also detaching ourselves somewhat from the world purposefully. It can really ask us to revisit our social connections and what groups we feel part of, how we identify in a group, and also our visions, also in terms of our aspirations and how restrictive we can actually be on our own creativity. It's a beautiful thing to be practical with Saturn in terms of our visions and working towards things slowly and methodically. That much is true. But when we start to scale back so much because there's a lack of belief and a lack of faith, that is also something to address. And again, links into the energy that we're experiencing with Jupiter moving into Pisces. Pluto is going to be retrograde in Capricorn still, which is going to be putting the energy inward and transforming and putting a bit more pressure on the structures that need to crumble at this time, particularly as Pluto went retrograde around the Scorpio supermoon, and Pluto rules Scorpio. It really means business in terms of unrooting some stuff. So that process is probably going to be a bit of background noise at this time, but it is something to bear in mind as well. So before I go, I'm going to be doing some animal spirit messenger cards, maybe one or two, to further look at the energy of May 2021 and see what we get. So, ooh, oh, I love that. The elephant. I love the elephant card. I think it's honestly one of my favorites. But it does ask us to really consider our relationship with trust. And, you know, as I said, Jupiter rules trust, and in Capricorn and Aquarius, it was about trusting the timing. This is about trusting the obstacles. Sometimes in life, we can experience something that feels like a loss. We feel like we've missed out on something. We feel like we did something wrong. But oftentimes when the elephant appears, it's because it was sort of a miss is your mercy scenario. Sometimes you were being rerouted to something better. Sometimes there was something better in the future for you that you couldn't go down that path, or else you'd miss it. It's really understanding that sometimes the universe knows better than we do. And that, of course, calls into question your relationship with faith. I know that with Saturn going through Aquarius, I do think a lot of people are re-examining their aspirations and their goals and what it is that they really want from life. And sometimes you can look back in the last couple of years with Jupiter in Capricorn, Jupiter in Aquarius, and you can really examine where you feel relieved that something didn't work out the way you wanted it to. It's a very important question. And in fact, you might actually go back as far as December 2019 and think, thank God that this didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. It may also be with the elephant that some of your paths are being rerouted. And I love this idea that you can have a purpose in life that you don't know anything about just yet. And your purpose doesn't have to be career. You know, it's sort of like the butterfly effect. You don't realize how much you're actually changing the world just by having a conversation with a friend where you really inspire them to be themselves, to big them up, to love themselves. You don't know how that has an effect in the world. If you're a very supportive parent, you may raise a child who ends up doing amazing things, or you may raise a child who ends up taking very fruitful paths. You just don't know. But your goodness and your qualities can sometimes be that you have this purpose that you may never know, or you may know later in life. You know, trust the timing of your life is something I think that really comes up with the elephant card. It's about being open-minded and being understanding that sometimes your luck can change in the blink of an eye and things can start going well, and sometimes things that seemed unlucky were actually the best thing to happen for you in terms of getting you to what it is that you wanted to manifest. And whether you believe in manifestation or not, it's important to remember that, particularly with the new moon in Taurus coming up, our thoughts dictate our actions, which dictates our reality. So if you want to look at it at a practical level, and remember that everyone has a very different relationship with faith, and if it's different to yours, it doesn't mean that anybody's wrong. It just might be that they're not aware of their own spiritual practices, i.e. lucky football boots. Some people just don't realise. But we'll do one more and see what we get for the May 2021 season. The swan. This is interesting because this reminds me of Gemini season, the duality with the two swans. And it's a time of mirroring. It's a time when we experience that duality and we understand that sometimes, much like our thoughts dictate our actions, sometimes our beliefs dictate what we actually see. Because if you have a belief that all people are a certain way, your mind will look for evidence of that and thus you'll manifest it. But if you start changing your perspectives, which is a beautiful thing to do with Jupiter and Pisces, you can start experiencing very different results. And it's not because the universe is suddenly sending you them necessarily, but maybe because there's things that you missed. One of the wonderful things about Jupiter and Pisces is that Pisces is the unseen. Jupiter expands, so you can really see what's going on within you and how that's actually being reflected in your reality. And so that is something it might seem subtle in luck, but it's actually life-changing rather than winning something in the bingo. You know what I mean? Sometimes the inner luck that we generate through Jupiter and Pisces changes our life in a way that's far better than getting an immediate gratification. So that is what I have for May 2021. I'm going to go into the individual zodiac signs. The sun signs and the rising signs are the best for you to look at in terms of accuracy astrology wise. And if you enjoyed this video, as I say, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're interested in regular updates. Thank you for watching and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Aries, and welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. So Aries, the beginning of the month, the first half, brings to you a blessed new beginning in your sector of worth, finance and value. For you, the new moon in Taurus in the 11th is going to be in harmony with Neptune, which is currently in your 12th house, meaning that you're able to manifest into your life more money, more resources. So if you're looking to maybe generate more income, if you're looking to find new ways of making money, this is actually a really exciting time for you, particularly if you work in a profession that is healing, be it medicine or be it nursing or be it spiritual or anything occult. This might actually be a very wonderful new moon for you to manifest more money for yourself and more income. But it could also be that this money comes from an unseen source, something you weren't expecting, or it could be money that's been hidden from you in some capacity. But if you're looking to manifest money through manifestation processes, setting intentions, journaling, this really is a new moon to do it. It's usually when you can manifest money much easier. Now, the second half of the month, the lunar eclipse is happening in your 9th house. So this is your sector of travel, it's your sector of faith, and it's going to be in a tricky aspect to the ruler of that full moon, which is Jupiter, which will be in Pisces, again, your 12th house of the unseen. So because it's happening in your 9th and 12th house respectively, you're going to be examining your relationship with faith. You're going to realize where maybe there has been something within you that's been holding you back from taking an adventure, or through seeing a different viewpoint, or from having some kind of experience that is out of your comfort zone, which really is something that you're quite good at and you're natural at looking outside of your comfort zone. For some of you, it's to do with study and university. There may be some aspect that you haven't realized yet that comes to the fore around this eclipse, and it changes your direction in some capacity, or maybe it's wrapping up a phase of study, of learning, of adventure. It may be the end of a university cycle, it may be the end of a college cycle, or it may just be that some travel plans or some type of study reaches a close or reaches a new path. There could be a change in that area for you. We also have Jupiter moving into your very psychic 12th house. And when Jupiter is in your 12th house, it feels like having a guardian angel. This is a time when you will really have most of your blessings internally, your internal world, your spiritual well-being, your psychological well-being. This is a time for healing. Jupiter expands wherever it is. So if you have anything that you need to work through internally, maybe you are experiencing some self-sabotaging behaviors, Jupiter can really expand on those so that you can work through them and benefit through the healing and the changes that Jupiter being in your 12th house actually brings for you. It's a wonderful time for spiritual guidance, healing. If you're interested in seeing a clairvoyant or a psychic or a Reiki healer, this is a time when you can actually get a lot of benefit from these type of things. And again, if you work in medicine or healing in any capacity, a really auspicious time for you. Now, Mercury is going to be going retrograde in your 3rd house, and we move into your 3rd house season towards the end of the month. And this retrograde cycle means that you have to rethink your thought processes, revisit your thought process, rewrite, look at the things that you have been writing in your life, your communication skills, how your listening skills. I can feel myself getting already a little bit choked up on words whenever I'm thinking about this, because it can sometimes just mean when Mercury is retrograde that we have trouble articulating ourselves. So make sure you reread what you write before you send it. Make sure that you don't send your text messages to the wrong recipient, and also consider your thought processes, and maybe take to writing or journaling in order to get your thoughts on paper so that they don't feel so complicated, because when Mercury's retrograde in the 3rd, your mind can get that little bit more cluttered easily. This is also a time to repair. So in terms of cars, phones, it's maybe reboot, back up your work, back up your documents, and don't buy anything new tech related. Okay, it's sometimes whenever Mercury's retrograde and we buy things that are tech related, it can be quite tricky. Mars, your ruler, is going through your 4th house, asking you to put more effort into your family. You may find that you have to defend your family or financially help your family or get money from your family. Or you may notice that you feel very secure with your family, especially around the 11th of the month. You may also notice that there could be old wounds come up with your family, but the way that it works in terms of process is that you may realize if there's any wounds from the past holding you back that aren't necessarily family related, but they relate to your identity. And then whenever Mars in Cancer sextiles Taurus, you realize that you're actually gaining a lot of confidence in these areas. You may also be investing more money into your home. And you may also be finding that there is, as well, towards the end of the month, a healing catharsis in terms of the past, letting a few things go. And maybe it's because with Mercury in the 3rd, you receive an apology. So I'm going to do you, Aries, a tarot card for the month of May and see what comes up for you. The High Priestess, perfect. The High Priestess is the ruler of the 12th house, the ruler of what's unseen. So she is your guardian angel. Listen to your intuition, have patience, carefully consider what you want before acting. So because we have a new moon in your 2nd house, this is the time really to ask for what you want, provided you're sure of what it is. But with Jupiter moving into your 12th house, it's going to be rummaging a little bit around in your subconscious and saying, hey, did you notice this? Did you see what we're doing all this time? Maybe this is holding you back from a blessing. Let's work through it. And you're going to get that information so much more easier. And the High Priestess, as I say, if you're interested in working with a healer or a clairvoyant or a Reiki practitioner, wonderful time for healing in general. And do trust your intuition when Jupiter moves in there. Although around the eclipse, try not to act so much because you might not be feeling as inspired spiritually and in terms of faith as you'd like to be. So that is what I have for you, Aries. I hope you have a beautiful month. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Taurus, welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. So this is still your season, Taurus. It is birthday time, so happy birthday to anybody born in May. At the beginning of the month, we have a blessed new beginning for you. This is your season, this is your cycle, but we have a glorious new moon for you on the 11th in your sign that is going to be positively aspecting your 11th house. So this is the time to manifest. You can really reach some aspirations around this time. There could possibly be new friendships in the horizon, ones that are based in a place of unconditional love, ones that are based in strong spiritual connections. You may also find that you have a goal or an aspiration that comes to mind that you want to do for yourself, and you're going to attract the groups, the friendships, the connections that you need around this time. So if there's something you want to manifest for yourself, Taurus, it's likely that your friends are going to be very beneficial and help you on your goal in some way. We then have a big change for you coming up in your 8th house around the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius at the 26th of the month. And this is going to be in friction with your friendship house. So what this means is that you may have had to let go of certain friendships in the past that could still be holding you back. You may have felt like you were rejected by a group of people, friendships, and you might still be carrying some issue with these people. And maybe that's brought on by having new friendships in your life or new connections. Maybe you're scared to dip your toe in the water, but you're going to have a psychological breakthrough that is quite intense around this 8th house full moon eclipse. You're going to really overcome your obstacles. You're going to see where maybe you've not had much faith in people. Maybe you've not had much faith in humanity. Maybe you've not had much faith in the process or politics or friendships, whatever it is. You're about to understand what's going on beneath you here that you need to overcome. It may also be news surrounding taxes, other people's money. It may be that you come into money. It may be that you have to give up some money. It may be that you simply have this real psychological shift. And as you move through that area and into the rest of Gemini season, which focuses on your money, you start to see your value, you start to see your worth. But it may be time to rebudget a little bit because Mercury is going to be retrograding in Gemini, your 2nd house. Now, you're comfortable with the 2nd house. Taurians are notoriously natural with money. You see them working in finance and accounting and things a lot of the time. But if you're not a natural at it, or even if you would just like to enhance your skills, this is a wonderful time to rebudget. Think about what you really need, scale down. It's only for a couple of weeks. Don't make any huge spending statements. Don't buy anything grandiose. Check your bank statements, some financial hygiene, go through your books, that type of thing. Now, the luckiest thing for you is that Jupiter is going to move into Pisces on the 13th, and this is blessing your wish fulfillment sector, your aspirations. Jupiter going through the 11th house, I tell you this now, you're going to experience it for the most part next year, but I had Jupiter going through my 11th house whenever it was in Capricorn. And it's a wonderful time to get that one thing on your vision board that has been evading you for potentially years. So if you have a wish, get it on your vision board, start the manifestation process, journal, whatever it is that really brings you into the law of attraction and you feel like you're making an order with the universe, do it. These are a wonderful, these 3 months, because it will go back into Aquarius and that's all systems go career. But this is a wonderful time to network. Your connections will bring you a lot of blessings this month. I'm telling you that much. And there's likelihood, especially for the early degree Taurus, the April Taurians, you might actually have a wish come true quite soon. So that is what I have for you, Taurus. Now, Mars is also going through Cancer. Watch your words. Your tone might be sharper than usual. It's also going to make a positive alignment with your first house, but it's going to be in tricky alignment with your 12th initially. And this can bring up some old wounds in terms of conversation. Maybe you feel like you're not heard, misunderstood. Maybe you've trouble expressing yourself. Mars going through your third house wants you to work through these issues, Taurus. Okay, so your tarot card for May. The Hierophant, unity. You're going to be really connecting with people with similar viewpoints. You're also going to be more interested in the spiritual. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be more interested in religion or spiritual healing, and you're actually going to feel this a lot when we progress into June, especially towards the end of June. But for now, this is sort of, yes, seek out mentors and like-minded friends, spiritual organizations. So very 11th house as well. You're going to be meeting like-minded people, like-minded groups. You could be meeting new friends, people who really get you. Joining groups, joining charities, working towards humanitarian efforts, that type of thing are going to bring you a lot of blessings, Taurus. So I hope you have a wonderful month. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Gemini, welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. Happy birthday to all the Geminis born in May this month. We're going to be having a progression from your 12th to 1st house this month, Gemini. There is a blessed new beginning going on in your 12th house, which is to do with the unseen, transcendence. It's really your inner world. It's sometimes so unseen that you don't see it. Your private inner world, your subconscious, your movements through life that you're not conscious or aware of, and how they can sabotage you. So we have a beautiful new beginning there, and it's going to actually be in positive alignment with your career and reputation. So for a lot of you, you could be committing to some healing path, some healing practice, and in turn this is going to benefit your career. It could also be that you're being watched from behind the scenes, that people are really interested in you. Someone might come forward with a proposition, someone might come forward with an opportunity. And people in the shadows are actually likely to be helping you in some capacity around this time, Gemini. It's a beautiful time to start some kind of therapy, some kind of healing, working through your emotional clutter. There's a really strong guardian angel presence with this new moon for you, so you could feel very divinely protected in your new endeavour. And you could also be around this time even meeting a soulmate because we're going to be having huge changes happen in your 7th house. So for some of you, this could be marriage, engagement. This could be having a child with a partner. This could be making a financial plan with a partner. It's going to be in tricky alignment with your reputation sector, but just because they're in tricky alignment doesn't mean that there can't be something positive to come out of it. This could be a change in status, a promotion. This could be your title changing. Maybe you go from Miss to Mrs. This could be a time when you let go of control issues in a partnership. If you're in a relationship that's very controlling, you might choose to move out of this. But with the change going into the 1st house energy, you're likely feeling very positive, very focused, fresh, glowing. Venus is there. You look beautiful. Mars is in your financial sector, pushing you to make more money, see your worth, see your value, stand up for yourself. And the 31st of the month is a very lucky time for you in terms of career and money. You could be noticing some advancement going on this month that's really in your favour. Things could start to move for you there, especially as we get into your season. Now, Mercury is going to retrograde in your 1st house, so this is a time to rethink your image. Maybe you want to change your hair. Typically when Mercury's retrograde, it's not the time to do these things, but this is really re-inviting you to reinvent yourself in some way, or at least think about it. Look up different styles, look at your old styles, your progression, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. It might not be as easy to express yourself at this time, and you may find there's some things you want to review. You may also want to get to know yourself better through quizzes. Maybe you do a BuzzFeed quiz and find out what dog you are, something like that. Just having fun with discovering who you are. Maybe you get your birth chart read, for example. We also have Jupiter entering your 10th house, beginning a 3-month phase before it retrogrades back into Aquarius of a lot of luck and energy and career. You will be busy this summer. You will be impressing people this summer. People will want to hire you. People will want to promote you. People will be thinking of you, asking of you, noticing you. You're being watched in such a big way. So if that sounds good to you, Gemini, then that's great. If you're not comfortable in the spotlight, Jupiter in the 10th is a wonderful time to work through any imposter syndrome or where you feel like you don't deserve recognition. Saturn retrograding in the 9th may mean that in terms of your faith and philosophy, there could be some reevaluation. Let's do you a tarot card, Gemini, for May 2021. Strength, beautiful. You could be dealing with Leos this month a lot. Archangel Ariel, great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness and compassion. Very 12th house. So at the beginning of the month, you may be pushed to forget something from the past, and also forgiving yourself for something maybe you wish you'd done or you wish you hadn't done, or something in that bracket, and not being so hard on yourself. The Strength card is more about being the woman who handles the lion with grace and inner strength rather than the ferocious lion, and being proud of yourself for what you've done right and what you've achieved rather than what you wish you hadn't. The 12th house is where our regrets come up and we let them go so that we can begin anew in the first house. And use some interesting changes coming up for your image, especially in June. So I'm excited to get into that for you, Gemini, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hi Cancer, and welcome to May 2021. So we have a shift this month, Cancer, from your 11th house to your 12th house. In the 11th of the month, we have a beautiful blessed new moon in Taurus, and for you this is your 11th house. This is wish fulfillment. This is idealism. This is idealistic tendencies, aspirations, goals, friendships, working with groups, and it's going to be harmonizing with your 9th house of faith, philosophy, foreign connections, university, learning, college. This is a beautiful new moon for you to start some learning process, or to meet like-minded people, to manifest new friends if you want new friends, to manifest a cause, get involved with a charity, get involved with a group, networking with people. You may also find, Cancer, that this has some global part to it, some global acumen to it. Maybe you're meeting people that are worldly. Maybe you're meeting people from a different country. Maybe you're traveling around this new moon if you can. But it's very auspicious, and it's important to stay connected. The first half of the month is a lot more social though than the second. In the second half of the month, we slip into your 12th house, which is very private, introspective, and a time when you can really get in touch with your feelings. There is a buildup of this energy where you look inward and you see what you want to heal and what you would like to rest and what you would like to let go of. We do have a lunar eclipse coming up in your 6th house, and it's very intense. And the main message of it, Cancer, is for you to look after your health, your well-being. There could be some change for you in terms of health. Maybe you're wrapping up a cycle. Maybe you are realizing you want to eat differently. You want to exercise differently, maybe more or maybe less. You want to look after your body more. You want to work less hours. Maybe you want to work more hours. Maybe you want to change jobs. Maybe you are wrapping up a current job and you're looking for something new. This has a little bit of tension towards your 9th house. So it may be that if you're making travel plans, you're conflicted about this. Or maybe you want to work for a company, but there's a distance issue. Or maybe you just don't have faith in yourself that you can have the body that you want, or the lifestyle you want, or the routine that you want. Maybe you have a lack of faith there, and this eclipse asks you to let go of that perspective and usher in new energies, because we're getting towards your season too. You also have Mars going through your sign, which is why it's doubly important for you to look after your health, because you might feel very tired or run down through all the energy, because sometimes when Mars is there, it can ramp up our energy, we can push too far, and then we can fall flat. Now this is going to be harmonizing beautifully with your 9th house by the end of the month, so there may actually be a bit more faith restored if you feel like you've had a little bit of a crisis around the eclipse. Maybe you feel not good enough about yourself, or you lose your optimism. This will return. Saturn's going to retrograde in your 8th house. There's a strong theme of return of the ex, I have to say, especially because Mercury's retrograde in the 12th. You may be invited around this time to let go of someone from your past, or to reconnect to somebody from your past, or to look at your past, take inventory, see a pattern, and finally conquer it so you can make way and make space for something better. When Mercury is retrograde in the 12th, it's very much the energy of retreat. You might feel more introverted. It doesn't last very long though. This is a time for healing. Your dreams could be vivid. Some of them could be disturbing because your mind is decluttering. This is a beautiful time to see a psychic or a healer, or to seek medical care if you need it, because there's a strong chance you'll get the healing and support you need to get better and move on to the next. You could have a lot of feelings come to the surface, and it's easier to access the parts of yourself that you maybe don't have time to. So take a little bit more time to yourself than usual, Cancer, and really lean into the healing feeling that's going to be coming up towards the end of the month after a rather social beginning. That's all. Oh, no, it's not all I have for you. I have a card for you. Apologies, Cancer. Let's get a tarot card for you in May 2021. The moon, yes. That healing energy. Important psychic insights. That's so 12th house. Events behind the scenes. Release the fears that hold you back. You can call on Archangel Haniel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. to help you release fears. There is important energy coming up for you, Cancer, and it's not about other people. The 12th house, when we talk about hidden enemies, it's really the hidden enemy within you, the self-sabotager, the negative belief systems about yourself, the old fears that make you not want to take action. This is a time to release some feelings that have been holding you back for that little bit too long. So that is all I have for you, Cancer. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Leo, welcome to your May 2021 astrology reading. So Leo, we have a shift in energy from your 10th house to your 11th house. At the 11th of the month, we have a beautiful new beginning for you happening with the new moon in Taurus, activating your sector of reputation and career, success and achievement. And this is going to be in positive support with your 8th house. There could be new contracts, new financial contracts. You could be getting a loan. You could be paying off debt. You could be settling into a new job, big changes, promotion. Your spouse could be getting a promotion. Your spouse could be getting a new job, or your partner, in a way that helps you pool your money together and maybe elevates your status in some way. We also have a big change happening for you with the Sagittarius energy in your 5th house. So this could be a time when you realize what energies no longer serve you in terms of love and relationships, because it is actually in tension with your 8th house. So around this time, you could be realizing that you're afraid of intimacy, or you're hesitant about intimacy, or you maybe don't feel like there's been enough romance in your relationships. And this eclipse is a way to reset it and let go of a pattern or let go of a particular phase. For a lot of you, this could be to do with becoming a parent as well, because it is your 5th house of children. You could be wrapping up a creative project. You could be giving birth around this time. And this is something that's going to obviously take a little bit more money, because that's the 8th house shared resources. You could be putting a lot of action this month as well, with Mars going through the 12th, towards healing your inner world, to working through some unconscious blocks, some subconscious limiting beliefs, or anything that's holding you back. You've more energy to work through that place, but you might need a little bit more sleep than usual. Not to worry, because we're moving towards a very social time for you, Leo, with a lot of the 11th house energy. But we're going to have a Mercury retrograde there as well. So for a lot of you, you could have old friendships reappear. You could be reconnecting with people that you used to have a joint cause with. You could be getting back into a routine of seeing your friends. You could be revisiting old goals, revisiting old aspirations. Some of you could be wrapping up old aspirations, and a lot of you could be receiving apologies from old friends, or reconnecting with an old friend where you lost touch, or just maybe there was a difference in opinion, a difference in idea that has held you back from being friendships. And this might be a beautiful time to reconnect, but certainly it's a wonderful time to reevaluate your goals for the long term and how you're working with them and how they're going. Jupiter is going to move into your 8th house of other people's money. So your partner might get a pay rise. If you're single, you might find that you get a loan that you need, or you're able to pay off debt, or you're able to inherit money, or you're able to make more money for yourself. You could make more money through joint ventures. But Jupiter going through the 8th is really a lot to do with intimacy as well. So you might find at this time there's increased intimacy in a relationship, and maybe some healing with you and the person that you're involved with. And if you're not involved with anyone, you might find that in the next couple of months, someone could come in really quite quickly, romantically, because of the Sagittarian eclipse. So Leo, let's get you a tarot card and see what we have for you in May 2021. King of Pentacles. Ooh, you're going to be successful. That new moon really is bringing you success. Generous, professional, responsibility, and practical. A successful time. Confidently approach opportunities you're offered, and the Midas touch. I love this. So that new moon in Taurus, Leo, your career goals, get them down on paper. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you need. You could be getting a lot more money. You could be getting financial assistance. If you're studying or working in anything regarding money, accountancy and finance, this will be a very busy, very prosperous time for you. But you have the Midas touch this month, Leo, so enjoy it. Go for what you need and let go of that imposter syndrome, because you're about to have a moment. Okay, Leo, so that's what I have for you. Bye. Hi Virgo, welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. So Virgo, we have a beautiful blessed movement of energy from your 9th house to your 10th house. We have a gorgeous new moon happening in your 9th house of faith, philosophy, travel and adventure, and also higher study. So you may be noticing around the 11th that you have an opportunity to travel. You have an opportunity to learn, to study, and then to engage with people who are maybe from a different background, a different culture. This may be linked to business, but it could also be linked to romance. So a lot of you could be finding yourself involved around the next couple of weeks. If you're meeting somebody and you're single, you could be involved with someone who's long distance, or maybe your relationship is long distance, or maybe you're traveling with a partner. But these energies are harmonizing together to change your perspective and to change your faith. Some of you may suddenly feel more optimistic about romance, and this could be drawing in the energy that little bit quicker. The second half of the month, we're going to have big changes in your 4th house to do with home, family, and letting go of the past. This is in friction with your faith in relationships. So maybe for some of you, you're preparing to let go of a belief system surrounding potential partners or your partnership or your marriage. Maybe you are changing your opinions and ideas about what marriage means to you, or you're letting go of fears surrounding intimacy and partnerships. Some of you could be moving house, you could be moving in with a partner, moving out from a partner. Some of you could be redecorating, reorganizing, revamping, renovating. And this could all be linked to some kind of contract, because the 7th house is to do with contracts. Maybe a contract needs to be extended, or maybe it's been broken, or maybe there's some legalities tied up to the home that you need to tend to around this time. Remember that eclipses typically just accelerate what's already happening or needing to happen. When we move into the 9th house, 10th house shift, one of the things for you, Virgo, is that we're getting so much energy in terms of reevaluation to do with your work. Saturn's going retrograde in your 6th, Mercury, your ruler, is going retrograde in the 10th. So there's a likelihood of career change, or at least thinking about it. This isn't really a time to start anything new job-wise. It's more a time for a sabbatical, considering your next career move, realizing if you have any communication issues with authority, looking at your career status, taking a sabbatical, taking a holiday, seeing what's good for you time-wise, schedule-wise, where you maybe want to adapt a little bit more. You could be late around this time, so try and free up your schedule in some capacity so you've more time for you. But if you have to take a job, you have to take a job. So don't let astrology say you can't, because you can revisit it later if that's something you need to do. Okay, so Mars is actually going through your 11th house though. So putting action towards your dreams, your wishes, and being positive about it. It's going to be connecting in a beautiful way at the end of the month with your sector of romance. And speaking of romance, Jupiter is entering your 7th house. So if you're looking for a relationship, more than easy to find somebody at this time, more than easy to commit to a partnership, have opportunities to find a partnership, a long-term relationship. But it really shows you as well, because Jupiter is to do with trust and faith, how much faith you have in romance. And for a lot of you, just shifting your perspective this month will make things so much easier, and you'll wonder why you didn't before. This could be a real summer of love for you, Virgo. Love that. So let's do you a tarot card and see what we get. 6 of Cups. Soulmates. Love it. Memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. So this is also 4th house energy, where maybe you're letting go of the past, or maybe you're revisiting the past in some capacity with that eclipse. Maybe you're moving home, maybe you're changing residence. Some of you could also be reconnecting with someone. For a lot of you, it could be a male with Mercury retrograding in the 10th, or maybe someone you used to work with. There's a potential where you could maybe connect romantically this time around. Or maybe some of you are hearing from an ex during Mercury retrograde. Or some of you are just forgiving and forgetting, or reconnecting, or injecting more romance into your current relationship. Whatever it is, Virgo, this is a lovely energy, a happy energy, and a good energy. So I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Libra, and welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. So Libra, we have a beautiful new beginning happening for you in your 8th house, which is to do with intimacy, shared resources, shared finances, and your more primal nature. This is going to be getting support from Neptune in your 6th house of work, health, well-being, and routine. So around this new moon, it may be that you reach some sort of shared resources style blessing. So that could be a loan being granted. This could be more money in your pocket. This could be inheritance. This could be a gift of money. This could be a debt recovery plan. all of it seems to be well aspected by your 6th house of habits. So for a lot of you, you're going to be manifesting better financial hygiene. You're going to be working through your finances. You're going to be looking at your books. You're going to be looking at your relationships, finances, if you're in a shared partnership where you share property or you share money. This could also be a time when you review your contracts in general, or you review your expenses in general, and practice good habits. The better your habits are around this new moon, the more you can manifest in terms of the 8th house. It may also be that you start some sort of fitness or well-being program that benefits your intimate life. So it could be that you're feeling better about your body, or you could be feeling better about your health in general, and it only enhances your relationships. Could also be that you're starting a fitness program with a partner, or a diet with a partner in some way. Maybe you're both going vegetarian, or maybe you're both deciding to walk together a lot, or something like that. We do have a lot of change coming up for you in the 3rd house of communication. That lunar eclipse in Sagittarius is going to be closing a chapter or speeding up the inevitable in terms of your communication style and skill. So it may be that you're wrapping up some conversations, maybe with someone you work with. It could be that a lot of you are realizing that you don't speak up enough and you want to change that. Some of you are writing a book and you're about to finish it. Some of you could be getting published. Some of you could be changing your career. Some of you could be moving neighborhoods, or you could be wrapping up some work within a neighborhood. But the 3rd house, when there's an eclipse there, it really is likely that you're going to be wrapping up some form of communication. And because it's in challenging aspect with your 6th house, it may be that you decide you're tired of a particular working environment or a particular schedule, and you need to voice these concerns in order to do better for your body and your well-being. These are both very, how do I say this? Mental health style houses, making sure that your mental health is good. You might realize around this time that your mind is really overburdened with anxiety, and you need to find a new well-being practice, and you need to have faith in your practice and your schedule that you're setting for yourself, and not doubt that you know what's best for your well-being. Around this month as well, we have Jupiter entering your 6th house. So although it's going to be clashing with the eclipse, it's going to bring you a lot of positive energy in terms of vitality, well-being, health improvement, being protected from enemies and competition, work opportunities, job opportunities, glow-up style energy. And some of you might actually be getting a pet as well when Jupiter goes into the 6th house. It will retrograde back into your 5th house and bring more blessings to your love life, possibly more than you had before, blessings to your creative life. But for the next couple of months, it's going to be amping up your 6th house. So the more you stick to a schedule, the more you practice gratitude and look after your well-being, the more blessings you attract. 5th house energy, Saturn's retrograding there. So you might hear from an ex, or you might reconnect with an ex, or you might reevaluate what your romantic lessons have been thus far. For those of you that are looking for something more committed, or those of you that have had issues in relationships in the past. You could also be revisiting a creative talent that you have let slide that could actually really help you and assist you in your life, Libra, and be an important outlet for your mental health. And tapping into your untapped potential is going to be a big theme for this summer for you as well. Mercury is retrograde in your 9th house. You might find yourself resitting exams. You might find yourself reevaluating the truth, digging up an old issue, remembering something in your head from 10 years ago, realizing somebody lied to you and being annoyed about it. Mercury retrograde. You could re-examine your belief system, your faith system, look at your relationship with religion and faith in general. If you were raised in some very religious household, you may realize how that's affected you in life, and you could just be reevaluating your relationship with faith in general and with optimism. You know, the 8th house to the 9th house is about having these psychological breakthroughs on your psyche, on yourself, and then emerging ready to investigate the world for answers, for truth, and for a new belief system. Sometimes with the 8th house to 9th house, we completely disregard a belief system or way of thinking, and then we go on the adventure of finding something new. So, Libra, let's see what your tarot message is for May 2021. The Magician. I love this. You are ready. So there is a big theme of adventure going on here for you. You could be dealing with a Gemini or a Virgo as well. But don't forget, the Magician actually is associated with Mercury. So you have the resources or the ability to manifest. Life is magical. What a beautiful card. So there is magic going on for you. I do feel with Jupiter going into the 6th, you're going to find a lot of magic just in the day-to-day. Jupiter brings blessings to your day-to-day life. That's amazing. And you're also going to be experiencing, as we shift into Gemini season in the 9th house, your ability to manifest is strong. Particularly, that's going to continue into June. But the energies, especially with Venus in your 9th house, you're going to be feeling all the air sign trine energies to your sun and or your 1st house, and you're going to be feeling really optimistic. Have faith in the process, especially if you're having some type of challenge with career. Mars going through Cancer, pushing you to manifest a better reputation for yourself, more success, is going to be harmonizing with your 8th house. So it might be that you attract more money than usual this month, or more backing than usual. And any challenge you have in career can be met by faith, but you're a strong manifester this month, Libra, so enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Scorpio, welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. So this month we have a blessed new beginning in your sector of partnership and relationships. The new moon in Taurus is going to be sextiling Neptune in your 5th house of love, romance and creativity. Maybe around this time that a lot of you are embarking on a new relationship that could be very full of love and very committed, or it may be that in a current relationship you're moving to the next level in some degree, or maybe you're having a child together, or maybe you are creating something together with a lot of love and a lot of passion. So this is a really beautiful new moon for you to manifest more harmony in your relationships, good times in your relationships, or even an attractive relationship could come into your life at this time, Scorpio. We're going to be having a lot of changes though at the second half of the month with the eclipse in your financial sector. This is also your sector of confidence and self-worth, and it is going to be tricky alignment to Jupiter. So you may be finding, because Jupiter is in your 5th house, that a lot of you don't have enough faith in yourself in terms of creativity or even parenthood. It may be that some of you don't have a very optimistic view on love, and that is to do with your self-worth or your self-confidence. And around this time, you're going to be prepared to let go of a way of valuing yourself or estimating yourself and your value. And you can really let go of some outdated beliefs you have within you that maybe you're not enough, or you don't earn enough money, or you don't make enough money. For a lot of you, you could be changing your financial perspective around this time in a way that can really free you up to accumulate more or to make better decisions for yourself. Mercury is going to be retrograding in your 8th house this month, meaning that you might actually hear from somebody that you were once in an intimate relationship with or had very deep feelings for. This doesn't have to be the case. For a lot of people, it will be that you have to renew taxes or review taxes or renew documents, maybe to do with insurance. For a lot of you, you could be realizing that in your intimate relationships, you don't ask for what you need, or you may be expecting someone to be a mind reader. You might also notice in Gemini season that you could be a little bit more easily triggered by jealousy, paranoia, or suspicion. And it's important that you work through these feelings, because it may be that that is where, Scorpio, you need to have a phoenix moment. And you also need to accept that you're human and you deserve to be loved even if you're not perfect. Speaking of which, Saturn's going to retrograde in your 4th house of the past, meaning that you can really learn a lot about your history, your lineage. And there's an expression I came up with when I was thinking about this, or that I came across when I was thinking about this, and it was something like, a person without knowledge of their past history is like a tree without roots. Learning more about your culture, your heritage, or your ancestry line might actually make you feel more grounded. And also understanding the lessons in the past, or learning about your childhood, or learning about your parents, is something that's going to be really beneficial for you at this time, and also might be quite interesting. Mars is going through your 9th house, giving you a lot of energy towards study, learning, and if you're in university, this is a time that might be very busy for you. There could be a lot of studying, revising, or graduation even at this time for you, Scorpio. So that is what I have for you in terms of the astrology. Forgive me, I nearly forgot the biggest point of the month is that Jupiter is moving into your sector of true love and creativity and passion. For a lot of you, this is going to result in a lot of love coming your way, the ability to be very creative. One thing that I came across when I was considering the last Jupiter and Pisces phase was that Katy Perry, who is a sun and a rising in Scorpio, actually released her Teenage Dream album that had 5 consecutive #1s and made history in pop culture. So as you can see, the last time Jupiter was in Pisces, it really benefited her creatively. So you might find at this time that you're more creative, you have the ability to create things in your life that are of beauty and of promise for yourself, and you're more attractive to love and good feelings and joy as it is, and you're really going to be feeling a lot more optimistic and a lot happier, particularly once we clear that eclipse in Sagittarius. So Scorpio, let's get you a tarot card and see what we have for you in May 2021. The Nine of Wands, don't give up. So if you want to give up on something, Scorpio, don't. Protect that which you've created, have courage and believe in yourself. And underneath is actually the Ten of Cups. So this is really Jupiter in Pisces, and this is you coming through the other end. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. So for a lot of you, if you've lost faith in something at the moment, maybe you had a particularly tricky Aries season or Taurus season, or that supermoon was a lot for you, don't give up. There's some amazing blessings around the corner for you, Scorpio. So have a beautiful May, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. So Sagittarius, this is a fantastic month for you in terms of changing it up with your personality and your image. We have a lunar eclipse in your sign. Now it's going to be in a little bit of tension with your ruler Jupiter. So that is in your sector of the past and family now as of the 13th of May. You're going to be getting a lot of luck in terms of your home, your family. You could be moving, you could be getting a better house, moving into a better home. This could all be something that's coming up for you at this time. However, around that eclipse, you're really going to want to be letting go of a phase of life. A lot of you are realizing that you want to change your image, you want to let go of something personality-wise that could be linked to your past or linked to your upbringing or linked to something that happened that you wish hadn't happened in the past, and it might have dented your optimism or your faith a little bit. This is a time for you to reset and re-emerge from a cocoon-like energy into the beautiful butterfly. This is your moment to shine, Sagittarius, and let go of anything that no longer serves you. The beginning of the month, around the 11th, we do have a new moon in Taurus, which is your 6th house, and it's going to be in harmony with your 4th house because Neptune is there. So this new moon for you could be a really beautiful new time to clear out your house, clear out your junk, get rid of anything that doesn't work for you, dietary wise, fitness wise, start a new regime, connect with nature. For a lot of you, the more space you make in your home, the more blessings are going to come your way because there's a lot of abundance coming for you in terms of the home family. For some of you, you could become grandparents. You could become parents for the first time with Jupiter in the 4th house. For a lot of you, you could be experiencing blessings through your children. You could be experiencing blessings through your parents. But if you feel temporarily a little bit iffy about Jupiter moving into Pisces, it could be because you're a November born Sagittarius and you feel it squaring off your sun a little bit. So stay optimistic this month, even if you feel like your nature has been pushed down a little bit. By the end of the month, we have a lot of new energy coming in, fresh energy coming in. For some of you, it's to do with marriage, partnership. There's going to be a lot of understanding coming up in your relationship sector because Mercury is retrograding there. Mercury is going to bring back a lot of moments to renegotiate your contracts, your partnerships, to understand your relationships better and to harmonize differences. This might be a moment where you get to know your partner better, or you get to know what you want from your next relationship a little bit better. Could be that a lot of you reconnect with someone from the past. I have to say that sort of seems to be coming up for you. It could be to do with your new change in image. You could just be looking so glowy and inviting that everybody wants to know what you're up to. That's always possible. But this is really a time for you to redefine the rules and what it is that you want in your relationships and what it is that you need in terms of your well-being and your health. You know, Mars is going through your 8th house, which is making you really, really spicy. You're really attracting a lot of people. You're really you kind of have this allure and this mystique about you with Mars going through there, and it's going to be connecting to your family sector. But the thing about that is that Mars is also, because it's in Cancer, this is to do with psychological breakthroughs, and they seem to be linked to the past for you. So I do feel like there's something this month that you overcome in terms of your past, maybe to do with family issues, maybe to do with an ex, maybe to do with discovering something that gives you closure in that way, shape or form. But for a lot of you Sagittarians, you're really having a lot of breakthroughs and a really strong shift into a future that is more in alignment with yourself, and that's really very positive. So I'm going to do you a tarot card and see what we get for you in May 2021. Amazing. The Dreamer. 0, the Fool. This is a new beginning. I love this. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. That's definitely something coming to you with the eclipse in your sign, Sagittarius. You're beginning anew. you're fresh. For a lot of you, new moon in the 6th house as well. You could be getting a new pet. I'm just drawn to his little dog. Or you could be traveling if you have a dog, getting a new dog, or you could be spending more time with your dog or going on an adventure with your dog. For a lot of you, for sure, you could be getting a new pet though. So that is what I have for you, Sagittarius. Have a beautiful May, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Capricorn, welcome to your May 2021 astrology. So Capricorn, this is a beautiful month for you. We're going to be experiencing a blessed new moon in your 5th house of love, romance, positivity, creativity, children, fertility, pregnancy, joy and happiness. Pretty nice to have a new moon, and it's well aspected to Neptune, which is in your sector of communication. So expect good news around this new moon. If you're hoping to get news you want to hear, if you're hoping to hear from someone you've a crush on, or maybe you could just be receiving a love letter, sending a love letter. Some of you could be getting news about a pregnancy, maybe yours or someone else around you. But it's likely around this time, if you want to manifest some kind of good news or some kind of correspondence, it's likely that it could happen for you around this time, and it's a wonderful time to write down your intentions of what you want to draw into your life. Okay, so we also have a lunar eclipse in your 12th house, though. That's quite intense. This is going to be where you check in with your inner self, your deeper feelings, your attachments, what it is that you want to release, what wounds you want to let go. And it's linked in some capacity because of Jupiter now being in Pisces. It's linked to how you communicate. It could be linked to a sibling, or it could be linked to a neighborhood, or maybe your early schooling days. You could have had something happen to you in that time that's still affecting you now. Maybe you had a traumatic experience delivering a speech. But this is a beautiful eclipse to bring it to the surface and overcome it and find a way to heal, or a way to make peace with something that's maybe still hurting you in some capacity. Could be a relationship issue with a sibling. Maybe you're not on good terms, and this full moon brings it to the surface in order to eclipse it out of your life, to draw a line under it. Mars is putting a lot of energy into your partnership sector though. So you could be finding around this time that the heat is cranked up in your relationships or your business relationships, and there could be a lot of love, a lot of romance happening there for you, because it is going to sextile Uranus in the 12th. So it could be that in a partnership you decide it's the right time to have a child, or you decide it's the time to maybe reconnect on a deeper level, or maybe try something together, try something new, or go somewhere, or inject a little bit more romance and energy into your partnerships at this time, because it's going to have a little bit of friction with Chiron towards the beginning of the month. It is possible, Capricorn, that you are realizing that your past has dictated in some capacity your current relationships, and you really want to draw a line under that. Jupiter is entering your 3rd house, meaning that in terms of writing, publishing, communication, positive affirmations, all of these things are going to be very beneficial for you. Your words are like spells so much, Capricorn, over the next couple of months. So make sure they're positive. And if you do want to write that book, or write that piece, or get into journalism or communication, or something that involves the written word or your speech, very wonderful time to do so, but also a wonderful time to journal and write down your intentions. Mercury is going to retrograde in your 6th house in Gemini season, meaning that you're revisiting your routine, especially in work, especially in terms of your health, your diet, your fitness. You might be deciding to change these things or reevaluate. You could be late to work a little bit more, taking a sabbatical, taking a pause in some capacity. Do make sure to schedule in downtime and take the pressure off, because there could be a lot of email mishaps and communication mishaps in the workplace. So that's something to bear in mind, Capricorn. Your ruler Saturn is going to go retrograde in your 2nd house. So this is a time to reflect on how you see yourself, your self-image, and where you're limiting yourself in terms of money and image. It might be time to start searching for a job that pays a bit more, or asking yourself if you're comfortable with your career and your financial trajectory. So let's do you a tarot card, Capricorn, and see what we get. Life experience. This is the Tower. So this is that 12th house eclipse, a significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. So the 12th house eclipse is all about letting go of the false foundations, what you've built upon, your fears, the things that are blocking you, the things that are making your choices in life quite shaky. And nothing makes your life more shaky than a lack of understanding of the self, a lack of understanding of the universe, faith, trust, that type of thing. So maybe you're letting go of something that's held you back and stopped you proceeding with the power and the optimism that you really need to make the changes you want for yourself. It's all about letting go of what's within you, your hidden self-sabotage, your hidden enemies within, in order for you to build something much more powerful for yourself. So that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I'll see you soon. Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. So Aquarius, there's a beautiful new beginning in terms of the home. It's going to be harmonizing with your money sector. So this is a beautiful new time for you to maybe move, to look for a new home, to invest money into your home. Maybe for some of you, this is more money for your family. Maybe you're getting money from family. Maybe there's some money from the past that you didn't realize would find its way back to you. This is also a new moon that's very much to do with laying foundations in your relationships. There could be some reconciliation and forgiveness at this time. If you're struggling with a home situation or money for the home, ask the goddess Vesta for assistance in this area. We also have huge changes coming up in your 11th house. You might be letting go of a group that you work with, a cause that you work with, a friendship in your life, or you might be letting go of goals or aspirations that are draining your resources. Maybe some of you have spent so much time doing charity work, you've not saved anything for yourself or something like that, because it seems to be linked to your money. Or maybe you just don't have the same values as some friendships or some groups or some way of making money anymore, and you're changing it around this time or letting it go. We're also going to be experiencing a lot of energy for you in your 5th house of love and romance, but Mercury is going retrograde here, so you could be hearing from an ex. You could be hearing from somebody who you've been romantically involved with or someone you've had feelings for. There could be miscommunications in new romantic relationships. Maybe people aren't as they appear. That's not always a bad thing. But be wary of people who pop up from the past. It may not be that they're very serious if you're looking for something serious. But if you don't want something serious, that's fine. Also, making sure that you're not comparing yourself so much to others creatively. Now, the beautiful news is that Jupiter goes into your 2nd house, which is going to increase your confidence, your worth, your value, your pride in yourself. And the more that you step into this money, the more money is going to step into this energy, the more money is going to flow to you. You could get a raise, a promotion, a new job that pays more than you were expecting. Trust me, Jupiter going through your 2nd house is lovely. We could also be experiencing around this time Mars going through your 6th house, which could be bringing up issues surrounding body image, surrounding health, surrounding well-being. You could be feeling quite tired. It's important that you put energy into your body, your health, your well-being, and your routine, because these are going to be things that the more you put your energy into, the more blessings are going to come to your money, especially towards the end of the month, and also blessings towards your home, your family, and it's going to be really healing for you, actually, Aquarius, the more you step into your routine this month. But don't be afraid around the eclipse. If friendships or groups, causes, that type of thing aren't in alignment with yourself, that's okay. Don't feel guilty about it. It's just that you're realigning and redefining what matters to you the most. But Venus is going to be going through your 5th house, so don't be surprised if a lot of people are hitting you up at this time. So let's do you a card. 9 of Swords. So for some of you, there could have been some self-fulfilling prophecies. Maybe you're feeling, with the retrogrades, a little bit anxious about the future. Saturn's going retrograde in your 1st house. This could release temporary anxiety for you because you want to work through some self-worth issues, work through some body image issues, self-confidence issues. But with Jupiter going through the 2nd house for you, yes, Knight of Cups, a lot of you could be quite nervous about your worth, your value, or your romantic relationships, but don't worry, because that is going to iron out in June. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi, Pisces. Welcome to May 2021. So congratulations, Pisces, because Jupiter is going into your 1st house, meaning that you're going to be so lucky for the next couple of months. This is expansive. Your confidence gets a boost. Your self-image gets a boost. You're excited about life. You're coming out of your shell. You're open to new opportunities. You're open to new ways of looking at things. You have more opportunities coming your way. You're going to grow, you're going to expand, and you're going to love it, because Jupiter is your traditional ruler. Do not forget. We also have a new moon in Taurus, which is your 3rd house of communication, meaning that the first half of the month is going to be very busy for you. You could be hearing really good news around the 11th, particularly linked to you. because it is going to be sextiling Neptune in your first house, meaning there could be an exciting new career opportunity, a message, a conversation, a communication, something that means that you're very well received, the words that you speak are well received, your skill for writing and creating is well received. You could also get good news or a connection through a sibling or a neighbour at this time, interestingly. But this is a beautiful new beginning for you. And if you're trying to manifest something in your life that you really want, write it down around the new moon. We have big changes for you coming in career though, especially in terms of your reputation. With the eclipses, you might find around this time that you're more seen, you're more, people are witnessing you more, people are more interested in what you have to say, what you're doing. You're reevaluating your image, how your career works with your image. And because it's in a tricky alignment to Jupiter in your sign, you're maybe realizing that some career path doesn't work for you, or it could be that a career path that is more in alignment with you suddenly opens up. You could be letting go of one chapter, one path, and letting go of career regrets, letting go of career mistakes, and being ready to shine your light on yourself. Because if your career is not serving you at this time, there's a strong chance, Pisces, that with Jupiter in your sign over the next couple of months, you can really fill that up with something more fitting. A lot of fourth house energy in the second half of the month as well, and Mercury is retrograding there, meaning it's not necessarily the time to move, but if you have to, you have to. If your energy is stuck in life, declutter your home, rearrange your furniture, cleaning, move things around, paint things, let go of anything that has a negative connotation to it, maybe an item from an ex or an item from an old friend that you're no longer in contact with. Make peace with your past as well at this time. When Mercury retrogrades in the 4th, you might be more willing to let go of things that have held you back in the past or old mistakes. Really for you, actually, Pisces, the second half of the month is about letting go of the way things used to be, or the way things went that you weren't happy about. Maybe something that you've a little bit of regret, because these things need to be left behind. For Jupiter going through your sign, you're going to want to make the most of it. You will get your full run at it next year, I have to say, but for now, enjoy the little dip in the water. You've had a lot of 12th house energy, and Saturn's retrograding there, letting you know that healing is a commitment, self-care is a commitment, and letting go of what doesn't serve you as you go is so much better than suddenly letting everything go at once. The smaller steps that you take, Pisces, this month will still matter, okay? So let's do you a tarot card and see what we have for Pisces in May. Just heard a bang. 6 of Pentacles, and underneath is the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, Pisces. So anything that happens in your career, just know that it is designed to suit you better in the long term. Gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, receiving a loan, or paying off debts. So this is something that could be very helpful for a lot of Pisces. I do feel with your career, you might be finding a new job at this time, especially with the 10 of Pentacles underneath, finding financially security. You're going to be healing your relationships with your family, finding magic, and also focusing on manifesting more security for yourself, making sure that you're in a better space financially and a better space career-wise, because I think that's going to be a big plan for you this summer, is getting yourself in a spot financially and in terms of career that you really like, something that makes you feel really grounded. So that is what I have for you, Pisces, and I'll talk to you soon.